So how many times have you taken a trade and you go from being green on the day, meaning that you've made a profit, to going in the red? What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions, and in this video I want to talk about the importance of locking in profits. We have this saying within our Learn Plan Profit and TechBud Solutions trading communities, and it's I make money in the stock market by selling early. If you're watching this video, it's most likely because you're a beginner, and that is kind of when it's the most exciting, as you're learning so much. You're probably binge watching a bunch of videos on YouTube and you're only going to continue to learn. But one of the things that I want to share with you is, at least on my YouTube channel, I want to make sure that you test things out. The only way that we can retain the information that we are watching and to make sure that we actually learn from it is if we actually practice what it is that you learn. So if you're excited to learn more about the stock market, make sure you smash that like button. So we have another Whiteboard Wednesday for you here, and I'm not going to be using the whiteboard too much, but what I do want to talk about is this overall mentality that I feel like a lot of beginner traders have when they're just getting started and focusing so much on trying to make a profit, and not just making a profit, but because they're so new, they're uninformed on when to sell something, right? And an example I want to give, and this is not to bash anyone, but it's when something like Tesla reaches high prices of nearly $1,800 a share. And it's not even that at $1,800 a share, I view Tesla to be overvalued. I'm just saying that within a very short period of time, when it went from $1,000 a share to nearly $1,800 a share, when it does that within a very short period of time, normally it tends to pull back. So it shouldn't be such a surprise that it pulled back and now it's trading below $1,500 a share. I agree with all of you. I hope that Tesla continues to thrive. I hope it hits $2,000, $3,000 a share. But you need to make sure that you do your part in buying a stock when you view it to be a good deal and selling it when, again, it's a little bit more on the overbought side, especially if you're a trader. If you're a long-term investor and you plan to hold that position for a very long period of time, all power to you. This video most likely isn't for you, but this is for people that struggle and that have been caught at the top of a stock and struggle to be able to sell it for a profit. The first thing that I want to share with you is having a plan. So I think this is, again, one of the most essential things when it comes down to getting started. When you're entering a trade, it's not an investment. It's not something that you should plan to hold for a very long period of time. You should have a plan, meaning that, hey, I view this to be as a trade opportunity. I see a potential entry where I can sell it for a profit. This is the percentage for profit that it has to offer. But on top of that, you need to understand that every single trade, regardless even if it's a trade or an actual investment, every single trade or investment comes at some form of risk, and you just have to get through that obstacle and through that hurdle when it comes down to learning how to trade. You need to understand that this is not your 9-to-5 job. This is not where you invest a certain amount of hours and you have earned a direct output of pay. The stock market does not work like that. You can invest hours, weeks, months, years of your time, and you can still end up losing money. So make sure that you understand that you don't deserve anything in this market. Every profitable day that you experience is something that you earned with your ability to be able to take advantage of an opportunity and knowing when to lock in profits. So because we want to talk about having a plan, it's great to talk about the upside. It's pretty much the only thing that beginners like to talk about, but no one ever likes to talk about the risk involved. So by being able to have a plan, you at least, if you want to write it on a piece of paper, if you have an Excel sheet, even if you have a mental note of like, hey, right now Tesla is trading, so again, this is just an example, but Tesla right now is trading at $1,500 a share. I think that Tesla can hit highs of $1,800 a share again. Let's just use that as an example. So I plan to buy at $1,500. It's at the EMA line on the 180-day 4-hour time frame. I see the upside potential to be whatever the percentage growth it has to offer, but I'm going to cut losses at $1,400 a share, meaning that if it begins to sell off and it goes below $1,400 a share, I'm going to do my part in managing my risk. So my upside is $300 profit and my downside is $100. So at least you have some form of understanding before you actually take that trade. Either if you end up buying 1 share, 10 shares, or 100 shares, you at least understand your upside potential versus your downside potential. I hate hearing when a beginner gets into a trade, especially lower cap stocks. They get in, they don't even know where they should be selling or plan to sell, and things end end up going south for them. And again, feel free to share this in the comment section where you're just getting started, you have no understanding of where to sell, it ends up tanking, and then you end up asking people, hey, should I cut losses on this or should I continue to bag hold? This should not be a conversation you should be having when you're already in an open position. It's as simple as that. If you don't have a plan when you're about to take a trade, you're literally just setting yourself up for failure. So the second thing that I want to talk about is the simple idea of locking in profits. I don't know where it is that you are in your experience when it comes down to trading. I don't know if you just started learning how to trade today, last month, a year ago. It doesn't matter. This is something that you have to identify yourself. One of the biggest mistakes, we talked about having a plan. One of the biggest mistakes is people are so obsessed about missing out when they thought that Tesla was going to go again to $2,000 a share, when they already went from $1,000 a share to $1,800 a share, nearly $1,800. There was a great deal of hype, a great deal of demand for Tesla. But you need to understand that something is not going to just continue to go up without it correcting itself. And you need to make sure that you do your part in setting yourself up for success. So buying when it makes sense, when you view it to be a good deal, when your plan criteria is met, meaning that your upside outweighs your downside. And on top of that, you need to make sure that when you begin to approach a resistance level, I do it all the time. I lock in profits, and sometimes I lock in profits too early, but guess what? When you're learning how to trade, if you're watching this video, you're most likely still learning. We're all still learning new things every single day. When you're learning how to trade, your focus should be to learn, not to make a profit. So if you're trading with a decent amount of money that is getting you nervous when you take a trade, it's making you feel very emotional, very uneasy, it's not as fun as it was when you first were getting started, that is on you, and it is 100% your fault because you're putting yourself in that position. If you cannot control your emotions with the dollar amount that you are trading with, then what are you doing? You need to learn the importance of scaling, but not scaling too quick. Biggest piece of advice is if you're learning how to trade and you're making a profit, that is the best of both worlds. You are getting paid to learn something new. Think about it. It is your job to focus on learning, not necessarily to making a profit. Making a profit while you're learning how to trade is just the cherry on top. The last thing that I want to talk about is do it for your future self. And what I mean by that is everything that you are doing today, the dollar amount that you are trading, the groups that you are networking with, what it is that you are learning, what it is that you are practicing, the only way that you are going to get to your goal, right, it's to be self-sufficient, to be able to do this on your own, is if you actually make progress. It is difficult to make progress when you're so obsessed about making money. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the saying of, when you're doing it for the money, you're not going to succeed. And you might be asking, well, Ricky, what the heck? The stock market has to do with making money. And I agree. We all get started in the stock market because we want to make money. That's besides the point. I truly wake up every single day at market open. I live in Arizona at 6 a.m. Market opens at 6:30 a.m. I trade live with the Learn Plan Profit Group because I enjoy it. And you might be watching this video and you're watching so many videos, you're like a sponge right now. You're enjoying it. Don't lose that. And what I'm here to remind you is it is so great to do something that you have a huge passion for. And let that be what drives you to your success. But when you're so obsessed about simply making money, and that is all you're thinking about, that's the only reason that you are taking those specific trades, that's the only reason that you continue to overtrade, maybe not bag hold, and all you're focused on is, all I'm here to do is make a profit, and you're still in the learning aspect. When you understand what it is that you're doing and you're on a streak and you're just making money, all power to you. But when you're learning how to trade and all you're focused on is making a profit, you don't care about risk management, you don't care about bag holding, you don't care about, again, doing something today that your future self could thank you for, you're literally just setting yourself up for failure. There is so much that you have to learn. There is so many mistakes that you're going to make. No question about it. I don't care how intelligent it is that you are, the stock market does not discriminate. And there is so much that you have to learn. And the only way that you can make continuous progress is if you can actually learn from your mistakes. So make sure, in my experience, one of the things that was very, very effective is I found this middle ground when I was learning how to trade. It was enough money that made me feel like I had skin in the game, but not so much where I obsessed about the dollar amount that I had at risk. And every single time as I scale and as I begin to trade with more, I have to continue to kind of like recalibrate myself, making sure that I'm effective and efficient with the dollar amount that I am trading with, because I'm not here to make it or break it. I'm not here to try to make the most money in 2020 and then just lose it all in 2021. Do you get what I mean? Make sure that your actions today are something that your future self could thank you for. So if you're trading with $50, if you're trading with $100, or if you're just buying one share of every single stock that you are, again, testing out to practice the things that you are learning on YouTube, if you're part of a course, if you're part of a trading community, I think that's amazing because, again, you have real money, you have skin in the game, but not so much that you begin to obsess about making a profit. Think about this. When you buy one share of a stock and you're entering it for a trade, you're not taking that trade and hope to make a killing off of it. You're not going to be greedy when it becomes overbought. You only have one share. So your sole focus is to take advantage of a good deal and to lock in profits when it makes sense, or to cut losses when things go south. It allows you to focus on what's actually important. And we've talked about that so many times when it comes down to the one share test buy, meaning that you just buy one share to focus on what's important, and that's the actual trade opportunity. So this is pretty much, again, a wrap when it comes down to our Whiteboard Wednesday. We've had an amazing time within our Learn, Plan, Profit live trading session. I have over 2,000 videos on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe, and you guys are more than welcome to check that out, especially if you're just getting started. If you're excited to continue to learn new things, I hope that we earned your thumbs up. If you are someone that likes the way that I trade and that likes the way that I break things down, then I think that you could be a good fit for the Learn, Plan, Profit team. Take your time, click the second link down below, learn a little bit more about the Learn, Plan, Profit group, and being able to watch me trade live every single day. It is literally the only group that I work with on a closer basis. So if you are asking for my assistance, then click the second link down below and learn a little bit more about our team to see if it's a good fit for you. I appreciate you guys' time, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.